Okay, now I'm going to show you how you can work with multiple projects. Again, you probably won't have to deal with much of this, but it's nice to know some of the nitty-gritty of how the IDE does its, dirty work. So, okay, let's say in console application 1, we want to make a class. Oops, there we go. And we'll make this a dog. And we'll give the dog a public string, notice I'm using the lowercase s, name. And we'll do get set because we want anybody to be able to rename our dog. Okay, so over here, we're going to set our hello world to our startup project. Now, if we want to make a dog, notice. This doesn't know what a dog is. This doesn't know that it exists. However, if we build just this project, F6 will build everything. But it'll build the solution. But if we just build this project, then ReSharper will actually pick up on. Oh, I guess it didn't pick up on it. That's kind of a shame. Let's do a system-wide build. It should pick up on. Okay, unfortunately it doesn't for whatever reason. So the problem is, we're not referencing the project console application 2. See, we don't have a using statement that corresponds to this dog class. So, okay, we could do using console application 1. But you'll notice that it doesn't recognize console application 1. And that's because it's not referenced in this project. So basically, in short, these are the libraries that your C# application will actually, check stuff against. It'll see, okay, does this exist in any of these libraries? If so, we can give a handy error message that says, hey, add a using statement for it. So these are kind of linked into our assembly by default. But if we want to, in a word, link other assemblies, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to add the reference. And oftentimes C# will do this for you if you compiled your entire solution and run it successfully. But since we didn't get a successful build with the dog built in, it's not going to work quite that way. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a reference. We're going to right-click references and add a reference. And it might have you assemblies in default. These are all the Windows, Microsoft stuff you can use. Very fun. Instead, we're going to go to our projects. So these are our projects in our solution. And we're going to check console application 1. Because as you can see, we want to get the dog from over here. So we're going to say, okay, see, now we have console application 1 in our references. And if we give it a minute, it should recognize all this stuff exists in here. Ah, here's a good thing though. Here's another important lesson. The dog class is not public. The class itself is not public. Right now, it's internal, which is an access modifier in C# that does not exist in Java. Again, internal is sort of related to package in Java. What internal says is basically everything inside of this project knows that I exist. To be completely honest, I don't know if it actually corresponds to namespace. What it technically corresponds to is the assembly, but for all intents and purposes that we're going to be using, it really just belongs to this project. So that's what it defaults to. It'll always default to the most restrictive access modifier if one is not provided. See, if we remove this, it's not going to complain. It's just going to make this string. It's just going to make that string private. Okay, so we want to make this a public class. Very good. Go back to our other program. Now, see, it recognizes that dog exists. So that's cross-project development in a nutshell, really, and hopefully you won't have to do too much with that.